Hello everyone, I am Cristine Keller. I'm the author of The Dark Sun, and today I'm super excited to share with you a book that helped keep my launch timeline on track. It's called My Book Launch Planner. It was organized and written by Mandi Lynn. It has a lot of helpful stuff in it, and I'm going to take you through it today. All right, so let's take a look inside. We're going to go to the contents first. So Mandi Lynn, who is an author herself, wrote and organized this book, and she has a slew of ideas that were just brilliant. Some of this I used, some of it I didn't. Every person is different, every book is different, but regardless, she really puts everything you need into this one tiny book. So it starts off with genres and keywords, keeping track of your tropes. There's even a section for how to pitch your book. She gives you a couple of ideas of how to do that, and we'll look at that later. A book blurb section, very helpful. I use that very much. But the publishing to-do list was very important. So that was a big help to me before I even launched my book or even planned it. And then of course she has a section for that. So I really loved how she put in like different ways you can graph that. So we'll look through that. But then there's other things that she put in here that are useful too, like your cover reveal, keeping track of your street team, your ARC readers, what kind of social media you want to do. And then last but not least, you have your release day to-do list. That section, of course, is the whole point of the book of why I got it, but a lot of this was just super helpful before I even got there. All right, so in the first section, you have a place where you can put your main genre and then list your subgenres here. And then you also have a place to keep your Amazon categories, as well as listing your book tropes and your Amazon keywords. Like for mine is dystopian, science fiction, dark science fiction, that kind of thing. So that's really good to have. And this section is completely up to you if you want to use it or not. It's the ideal reader profile. And for this was kind of fun for me because you interview someone that reads your genre, and then you can get an idea of where to find your audience. So that was fun for me, but not everybody uses it, and that's fine. So in this section is the comparative titles, or comp titles as we like to call it. And this is where you can list different books that are like your own. Like you can say book A is versus book 3, you know, whatever way you want to do it. So that's a great section to have that in. I also really love this section, pitch your book, and Mandi gives 5 different methods of how you can do that. I liked it because, as most authors are, when someone asks us, what is your book about? We get stumped. So this is a really great section and great ideas of how you can do that. So I love that she put that in there. This section is for your book blurb. Some authors do their own, while others, like myself, used a specialized editor who are different from your copy editor, your proofreaders, development editors. They specialize actually in book blurbs. So, but anyway, this is a section for you to use if you want to do it on your own or whatever. So, or get some ideas. I used it to keep track of who I wanted to use, so that was nice too. This was very instrumental in my publishing to-do list. So I loved it because it had everything of what you're going to do when you're writing your book, getting your draft down, doing your self-edits, then going through your editors. So that was really nice to keep track of, as well as bring your book to life, you know, things that need to get done, like your cover design, formatting, getting your proof copies, all that. And then you have a checklist for your launch, everything that you need to do for that. So that was really nice, and as well as keeping notes. There's a lot of sections for notes, so don't think there's only one spot for it. Then this one's nice. This section is nice too because it's different marketing methods like giveaways, your cover reveals, street teams, that kind of thing. Up to you if what you want to do, but it's really nice to keep track of that. So, and a place for notes. And then your book launch timeline, super, super helpful. Everything from the editing process to betas to then, you know, to your final edits. And then you have where you have your cover, getting your cover done, your interior done, which takes a long time. So it's just really nice to have all of that and be able to keep track of it, as well as like even your ARC readers, you know, sending out your copies to them. And then you have a calendar. I didn't use this section, but again, if that's something that's useful to you, it's in there, as well as a chart if you want to use that. You know, that's again each their own. So, and a place for notes, lots of notes. So we'll just skip ahead. There's a section for goal setting, like if you know, if you have, or if you want to keep track of like your goals for sales and then what they actually were. That's this section right here. That's completely up to you to use. Expense tracker. I really love this one because I was able to keep track of like from everything I used, from an editor to the cover design, all of that. So that was nice. And this section, super helpful to me because this is keeping track of people to hire. Everybody from your development editor to your proofreader. Yes, a proofreader is an editor. To your cover designer, your PR company, all of that. I loved how I could interview people and keep track of that and who I ultimately wanted to hire. So that super, super helpful for me. Let's see, it has everybody all the way down to the virtual assistant. Again, place for notes. And you have a cover reveal checklist. If that's something you want to do, which most of us do, it's really nice to have a section on that and keeping a checklist of it, as well as notes, right? More notes. And also a place if you want to do emails to people that want to sign up for your newsletter or whatever, it's great to keep track of that here. There's a huge section for the street team checklist. So if that's something you do, this might be helpful to you. So it's got everything from like the letter you would write to keeping track of who you're sending it to, what you have them doing on what date. So it's really nice. I thought she really planned that out well. So I also love this section, the advanced reader copy section, your ARC readers. So keeping a checklist of keeping up with them and what to do for them. She also gives you an idea of like if you have an ARC reader in mind, you can, she's got an example here of how you can reach out to them or someone on social media that you feel would like to read your book. And then you have a social media contact list if you want to keep track of people on Instagram. So as well as social media tour companies, she's got a letter in here that you can use, as well as notes to keep track of, and just following, keeping track of who you reach out to, and of course keeping track of what day, what they're doing, all of that stuff. So if that's helpful to you, great. There's also a section for bookstores. So if you have a bookstore, a local bookstore, somewhere close by, she's got a letter you can send out to them, or you can just reach out to them in person. But I like that you can keep a checklist and a contact list with them. So that's really nice, very helpful. And then of course, the final release day to-do list, you know, so this is also super helpful to keep track of everything that you do and or need to do still, so because not everything is perfect when you do a release day. So that is about it. The rest of the section is for notes, which I didn't think I would use, but I ended up using a lot of it, especially when I was trying to keep track of beta readers. If I would tell her to add anything to the next edition, it would be to keep track of beta readers. So, but again, you know, there's a good amount of where you can keep track of that as well as other things. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content to come. Happy reading!